Do you actually think post-secondary is worth it nowadays?
That is such a controversial question. Personally, I believe high school was full of a lot more insecurities for me, for sure. A lot more anxiety, a lot more unknown. You got pressure from your teachers, your other students, your parents. You fear that you're gonna be at the bottom of something. You're gonna be at the bottom of society if you don't get a good job. You're gonna be at the bottom of the social ranking if you don't have a new pair of shoes. Some people might view it as a waste for having gone for a year and a half or so and then leaving. But why continue to pursue something that you know you're not gonna want to do?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the MindsetJournaling podcast. My name is Vincent and I'm your host for today. Here we deep dive into the unique mindset of our incredible guests, uncovering insights and experiences that will help inspire you and elevate your mindset. Today we are joined by Veckram. So Veckram is a longtime friend of mine. So Veckram, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Veckram. I am a manager at a truck shop here that we service trucks all over the GTA.
Veckram, today we're going to be talking about the schooling system here in Ontario. But before that, do you want to tell the story on how we met?
For sure. So we met second last year of high school at the buffet. And from there, I mean, at first it was pretty surface level, you know, and then we started getting to know each other more and more and more. I think what really solidified the friendship was definitely our partnership in college.
Mm-hmm.
Just the amount of time that we spent together, like every day, you know, it was a lot different than before. You know, we'd see each other occasionally, but
Yeah.
we definitely shared a lot more memories, a lot more stress, a lot more ups and downs.
What was your first impression of me? Because I could tell my first impression of you.
I think I know what you're gonna say, but yeah,
What?
I'm like, yo, this guy's braids are sick. I was like, yeah, this guy's braids are sick, but he also looks a little bit like I know, like you didn't really look nice at first.
like my face? Like
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
look.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Like I look mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't too bad.
Okay, I could say the same thing to you.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw you, it was at work at the buffet we used to work at.
Yeah.
I was there before you, and you're like the new guy who walks in, and you're like tall, loud, aggressive.
What?
No, your jokes were just mean.
Oh, okay,
Very
okay.
aggressively mean.
Oh, okay.
And then like I remember the first like couple months or couple shifts, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay away from this guy. But then we ended up actually going to school together.
Yeah. And even before we went to school together, there would be times outside of work.
Yeah, we would just hang out.
Yeah.
On a real note though, do you actually think going to post-secondary is worth it nowadays?
That is such a controversial question because you'll have a lot of people saying yes and a lot of people saying no.
Which end of the spectrum do you fly on?
Personally, I believe that if you are genuinely interested in your program or your career and are able to actually put enough time towards it, it is most certainly worth it. The program that we did, I don't think you'd be able to succeed without having gone to school for that.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
the technical skills that were given from that job are so important and then applying them into the real world. But not everybody in that program had the same levels of interest in pursuing that field.
Our dropout rate was intense.
It was a lot.
It was intense.
We had a lot of students at the beginning, but graduation day was not that much.
Yeah.
But I do think it's worth it so long as you have the drive for it.
So is that which end are you in?
See, it's tricky. I do think it's worth it.
Okay.
But not if you don't care.
Okay.
And I do think it's worth it if you do care enough about the program. You know, it's not worth it if you just go there, fuck around, and then, you know, all you want to do is just graduate. And then when it comes time to finding a job, you really can't care to find a job. And you don't have all these extra things that put you above other candidates because you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't put in that extra time, that extra effort to actually make those things or research these things, you know, have these new ideas, these innovations,
Mm-hmm.
actually add to a company and not just be another like cog in their system that they can replace.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you though?
If you're, yeah. I think you already know the answer. But I would definitely, okay, if it was one extreme to another extreme, like, is it worth it or not? I would say no.
Mm-hmm.
Just because from my learnings, my personal experience, like, if I were to, I tell everyone this, if I were to go back in time, like, if they were to ask me, like, oh, if you go back in time, like, would you actually, like, go back to school, like, go into a program that you actually, like, really like? I would say no. I would say no still. Unless it's something very specific,
Mm-hmm.
like, you need something very specific, like being a doctor, being a lawyer, being
Yeah.
an architect, for example. Like, those are specific fields. But if you go into something like generic, I don't want to insult any program here.
But I need to hear some business.
Like general open business,
Yeah, not like a specific thing in business, just business.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, if you're going to something like generic or like something that doesn't require like intense schooling,
Yeah.
I would
It's not
say,
worth it.
I would say, in my opinion, it's not worth it.
I agree with you completely.
The
on that.
time and the money, yeah, just the time and the money is not worth it. Like, our program was 3 years.
Yeah.
Our program was 3 years. If I went straight into the field, or for example, like doing my own thing, working, etc., I feel like I could be way farther than where I am currently, and without having to go on to school for those 3 years, 100%. Because I feel like experience. Well, in my personal experience,
Yeah.
experience is everything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the job market today. Even
Yeah.
after graduating,
Even with your master's, right?
you'll have a degree.
Yeah.
What's your 40K paper gonna do anything to someone who has 10 plus years of experience?
Yeah.
Who started when they were 15?
And
Right?
it's such a slippery slope because there are jobs that require these degrees too, but they also require the experience.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to even get in to
Yeah.
jobs nowadays.
And that's the dilemma. Like, most graduates don't even go into their field because they can't find a job.
Yeah.
Nepotism. I'm telling you, it's all nepotism.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sure. Nepotism, networking. In my specific case here, I would not have, despite my job not being in the field that I studied for, I don't think I would have received my job if I had never gone to college.
Mm-hmm.
College still has this ranking where it's like if you've gone to college, okay, you have like a level of understanding, a level of comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like dumb, and so you're ready for some kind of managerial role, some kind of upper administration stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in my specific case too, I had experience at this same place before finishing college. So it was a combination of me working there and getting my college diploma that I was able to move up in the company. And so in my specific case, I would still have gone back to college if I could choose again. Because without it, I wouldn't have been where I am right now.
Would you say, okay, here's another question. Would you say, what's the specific term? But would you, if you were to go back to school, would you do trades, or would you actually do like a degree in education?
I don't really like the trades.
Okay.
I had a lot of experience in trades in high school. I did 2 years of co-op in my last 2 years when I was doing like on the field stuff, electrical and renovation stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely did try to dip my feet in that before, but it just wasn't for me. I wouldn't say that I would never do it again because there is a lot of money to be made.
There's a lot of money, yeah.
And a lot of job security too. Like, I don't know why trades were ever looked down upon in the first place, like blue collar versus white collar stuff. I think it's just not for me. I've tried it. I can like confidently say that I've tried it, but I would definitely not be completely closed off to it, because there are different fields in the trades that would be better geared towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have family members who do different styles of trades work, and to me it's like, okay, I could do that. And if I were to go back knowing what I know now, I probably would.
Do trades?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to choose, like, if I did have to go back to school, I would definitely do. I do trades just because I know. Let's see here. How do I word this? How do I word this without seeming too aggressive? Okay. Trades are like jobs that everyday people need help with, for example, like electrical, plumbing,
HVAC,
renovations, etc. Like people, you need people for those, so you'll always be in demand. Generally speaking, you'll always be in demand, right? Whereas, for example, if you were to go to get a degree, competition is high in anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like in trades, it's easier to put yourself out there versus getting a job in a corporate world or with your degree.
Yeah, because you're more dependent on another company.
Yeah, and I feel like I like the freedom and flexibility and business of just trades in general.
Yeah.
I don't like being told what to do at all.
And you can, like, if one area that you're living in there's a lot of competition in there, it's really easy to just pack up and try to find different areas that need the services that you provide.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Instead of, it's like you're going to many different spots when you're working for a company, it's many people trying to get to where you're trying to be at. Yeah. So it's a lot more competition in that sense.
Yeah. And I guess the standards are higher.
Yeah.
The standards are higher for sure. But one drawback of trades is it's labor intensive.
Yeah.
Very labor intensive.
Taxes your body, especially in the long term, and not the same kind of, if you were to have gone to a desk job, you wouldn't have the same kind of damage.
Yeah. Stress on your body.
Yeah.
Now graduated and gone through the years of schooling, what would you say was your expectations of schooling, let's say high school, post-secondary, and what was the experience that you had compared to your expectations?
So my expectations for high school were pretty similar to what I experienced in terms of, the social life, the academic portion of it. In terms of my college expectations, it was definitely a lot different than what I expected. There weren't nearly as many things as I would have liked to have done or have seen that was in our particular college.
But I also think it's different because we went through a different time period of college, because we did college right entering COVID time, so majority of things were online for us, right?
Completely skewed our experience completely. But I still think that we had a fair amount of time to explore the initial parts of it, and I fear what we did experience in person is going to be the exact same thing for the rest of if it was still in person. It would have been the exact same way.
Because we were only in person for semester and a half, right?
I swear, I thought it was 2 semesters.
No, because we started September.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. Well, shutdown happened in March. So that would be like during the second half of second semester. No?
Yeah.
Right?
Half of second semester,
Yeah, and then the rest was online.
And that completely ruined everything.
Yeah.
I think that really made it so it didn't really feel like college anymore. It was just like...
Oh, it didn't at all.
It was just an online...
It was just an online high school or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty beneficial in some ways, not having to spend money on transit, being able to attend all of your classes because you're right at home already.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big benefit of having online classes, and it pretty much changed how other courses are delivered now. Like even after COVID has ended, like there are still a bunch of online courses.
Yeah.
Way more than there was before COVID, because they realized that okay, some of these courses are not mandatory to be in school for. So it saves some people that trip or that extra expenses, which in some cases is good. But having our whole experience now be online, rolling out of bed, getting into this lecture, and then not having the same environment or setting that we would have gotten in school, it kind of, made the experience a little bit lackluster, especially towards the end when it just felt like it was a grind.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I remember waking up to 8 a.m. classes, like rolling out of bed, putting on my headset, turning on my computer, just being in attendance, and I would put on my headphones, just lay in bed and listen.
Yeah.
And I would always fall asleep too.
Yeah, left in that in the online class.
Yeah,
The last one there.
Or what was I gonna say? Or I would attend sometimes, and I wouldn't even like actually be there. I'd be doing something else.
Yeah.
And just watch the recording, which was pretty clutch actually.
Those are pretty good. I wish those were even introduced in just regular classes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd always lie to myself when I wouldn't attend a class. I'll watch the recording.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
I would though.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
You're different. You're a different breed. You definitely did take the recordings more seriously. I always did try to attend, but what you said was very true, where attending, sure, but you're not really like in attendance.
Yeah.
Like you're not really present in that moment. And it's really hard to be present in those moments because of all the distractions around your house.
Oh, for sure.
Everything else that was more fun. And the biggest thing for me was the setting and how just not being surrounded by other academics or, in the library, in our classes, like it completely just made it seem like you're just at home.
Watching a video.
Yeah.
That you can click off if you don't want to.
Or you can just go through the slides and
go through the slides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because distractions, that's a big one. On my computer, when I get bored, I'd be roaming. Open up some games, different browsers.
All the time. Yeah.
Not actually paying attention.
No, all the time. Yeah.
No, all the time. That's why I didn't really like. I would dedicate actual like recording times to actually pay attention. Just because I know in person, I'm not paying attention. Plus it's 8 a.m. Like
8 a.m. class.
I'm not looking at that.
Yeah. You just be there so the prof wouldn't say, "Why aren't you in my class?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can go back in time, what would you say? Would you go back to high school days or would you go back to college days?
I believe that my high school experience was very genuine.
What do you mean by genuine?
In the sense where I came in as a more to myself isolated person from middle school, and the person who I was when I left was a much more mature, developed person in social settings, work settings. All the experiences. I wouldn't trade the experiences that I endured in high school for anything. I think that was a very beneficial time in my life, and I wouldn't go back on that.
Mm-hmm.
College, I have met like so many important people to me in my life through college, and we were able to deepen our friendship because of college.
Late night sufferings.
But even if I didn't change my course, I would go back and change how I did things personally.
Okay.
In terms of, well, I'm going to kind of bring up a different point here, but it's like college and high school are definitely two completely different mindsets. And where high school, everything's pretty much fed to you. I believe that people should be going into college with the idea that it's self-directed learning and not something that is handed to you.
That's a big thing. That's one thing high school, at least for us, didn't prepare us for, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that it's very self-directed.
Yes. And, when I think back to it, and a lot of people like to speak poorly against colleges for this, but I never once felt like the colleges were, when we actually got there, they were completely transparent about everything. It's just the mindset of the people going in there from high school. They're expecting it to be the same. We had people in our classes who were dedicated and committed to researching the topics that we were learning about outside of school, and currently they are the ones who are, successful.
I feel like for me, if you were to ask me, would I go back to high school or college? I would definitely go back to high school just because I had more fun, more experiences
Yeah.
in high school versus college. I mean, debatable if we weren't during COVID time and if 2/3 of our program was online.
Yeah.
But I would still say probably high school, just because high school you saw everyone, you knew every single day you were gonna see your friends, the same people consistently, right? Whereas college, everyone has different schedules and more work to do,
Yeah.
and they're all more on their own time, so it's harder to see your friends, hang out, etc. But
I think for me, it gets because college was kind of like my independent breakthrough. I was able to do a lot of things on my own at that point, without pressure from like outside sources.
yeah,
I was able to just make decisions and go to things, organize things
yeah.
in a more independent way, which I really appreciated. And I think that's why college really resonates with me, because it's kind of like a breakthrough point for me as a person.
Would you say, how were you like in high school?
Grades 9 and 10. I was definitely a to myself kind of person. A little bit of a
timid,
kind of weirdo. I almost got caught up in some, like in like a bad group. I was able to catch myself, reconnect with somebody I was friends with in middle school. From there, it was like a lot of growth, a lot of research as to how to become a better person, a more charismatic person, a lot of investments on my health. And that's like the grade 11, 12 mark when I was starting to feel really good about myself and the decisions that I was making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? How are you? How are you early high school? Sorry.
Early high school, I was very timid.
Yeah.
Very to myself. Imagine like going into high school, I probably wasn't 5 feet. I'm gonna be real. I was a tiny kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, always the front row for school pictures,
Yeah.
class photos. But yeah, anyways, so just imagine like a very small Asian kid who like doesn't really talk much.
Yeah.
Really to himself. So I went to a different high school than majority of my, well, not majority, almost everyone from my elementary school or middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was completely alone. The only person I knew was my cousin. So I had to like develop new friendships. And at the time, I sucked at making friends. Like, imagine a small Asian kid just to himself.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It's hard to make friends in a sense. But grade 10 is when I met my friend group. I met a lot of people. Started going out. Started having fun. And I really developed my sense of outgoingness, voice, I would say.
Mm.
And then ever since then, like grade 11, grade 12, I've always been a more outgoing or more extroverted person than I was in elementary school.
You definitely had this kind of, I wouldn't say aura, but like
Oh yeah, praise me more.
you had this stance or this poise.
Demeanor?
Yeah, this really nice demeanor that it's like, okay, yeah, this guy, he knows what he's doing. Like he's very to himself, he's independent, but he's an easy guy to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Aw.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
No
man.
problem, bro.
But yeah, if you were to ask me like who I was in like high school, from a teacher's perspective, I was that troublesome. Okay, I did work, but I wasn't the greatest student.
Oh yeah.
Not a typical Asian student at all, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But I would always come late to class. I was always talking in the halls.
Yeah.
Skipping class a bit sometimes.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Skipping class sometimes. Roaming the halls, saying I went to the washroom or forgot my textbook. I was always that kid outside in the halls.
That was the high school experience for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you were that kid.
I was that kid.
Bro, I'm in class and I see that one kid I'm just like, yo, go to class.
In math class, especially math class.
Yeah. I don't know. I was never really one to really be like super rowdy in class or like talk over. I was mainly just to myself. Or if I had a buddy in my class, we'd talk, you know, but I wasn't really a disruptor. I was a good kid. I
wasn't a disruptor.
No. I could definitely see you being one.
No. The class, I let the class move on.
Yeah.
I just do my own work outside.
Okay. And walking around the class wasn't really walking around school wasn't really something I'd do. Sometimes you need it, you know?
It's a thrill.
Yeah. It was a thrill?
Oh my God, teachers.
You got that adrenaline?
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'd 100% prefer high school over college. That's just in my opinion.
High school was full of a lot more insecurities for me, for sure. Yeah, a lot more anxiety, a lot more unknown. Being in college, I was more comfortable with who I was and where I was going.
Yeah.
Obviously, things changed, but I had more confidence in myself in college.
Because I feel like in high school, there's a lot of social pressure. Because number one, you're going through puberty.
Yeah.
Number two, you're meeting a bunch of new people from different schools. And three, like, you're just exploring. You're learning. You're what's the word? What's the word? I just had it. Going through this experience for the first time. You're figuring yourself out.
Yeah.
So there's all these different groups of people.
Lots of outside sources, you know, pressuring you.
Influences.
What are you going to do? You know, it's almost time for you to start your life. Like, how old are we? I don't think we've really even started our lives yet.
No.
Like, we still have so much time to explore.
Yeah.
And that pressure that is put on you while you're in high school is just too much. It just made me feel like, well, if I don't make a decision now, you know, the rest of my life is screwed. Yeah.
There was also a lot of social pressure too, in terms of, like, for example, appearances. I had to wear a uniform.
Yeah.
So then there would be one day out of the month, it'd be like dress down day. And you just got to wear whatever you want, like just casual.
Okay.
That was the biggest pressure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
You had to pop out on that.
Yeah, you had to pop out.
Yeah.
And then, for example, if you like wear, let's say you wore one fit for 1 month, the next month you wore the same fit, people would recognize it and be like, yo,
that's crazy.
Why are you wearing the same shoes?
Wow.
So there was just a lot of pressure to, I guess, on that specific day, like, look nice.
Yeah.
And then that you get in your head and like, yo, should I buy these shoes just for dress down day the next, like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
All pressure just from even just other students at that point.
Yeah.
And there's you got pressure from your teachers, your other students, your parents, you know, all these people who want you to perform the best, or you fear that you're going to be at the bottom of something. You're going to be at the bottom of society if you don't get a good job.
And that was deep.
You're going to be at the bottom of the social ranking if you don't have a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something that schools really fail on is when it comes to the pecking order and in the social groups that are established in schools. Do you find that just letting kids run wild with that, you know, not really taking a stance on bullying or how people will treat others in high school, do you think that actually, like, prepares you for what the real world is like?
I don't know. Depending on how you view it, depending on how your experience is. But I can see how some people could be like, high school was a very dark time, a very controlling time.
Yeah.
Question for you. You want kids in the future?
I do.
Would you put your kids through high school, college, university, etc.? The whole schooling system.
I would definitely ensure that they made it through high school.
Yeah.
Minimum wage jobs all around where we live. The minimum thing that's required, you know, whatever they want to do, they need some kind of high school diploma. There aren't many very opportunities that arise without having that. And so that's how I'd push them through there. But I think when it comes to, well, my personal situation or my personal experience, I was never forced into doing anything. I was never pushed into doing anything. and I want to give that same level of freedom to my kid, but definitely high school. Now, if they want to sit down with me and discuss a plan, what their future is, if they don't decide to go to college, university, or even like a trade school, then I'd be open to having that conversation. But I definitely try to inform them what life is like and what you would need to succeed.
So you wouldn't. So high school is mandatory,
High school is definitely
but
going to be mandatory.
but any education afterwards is free game.
I would definitely allow it to be free game after high school. I would like for them to have some kind of discussion with me about what their plan is after. I think that comes from having open communication with your kids and whatnot. But if it's not something that I see as viable, I would at least like them to try. So long as they try and fail, I'll be there as a parent as long as they try. Yeah.
That makes sense. Same thing like you. I would definitely want my kids to mandatory, like at least go through high school. Post-secondary, I couldn't really care too much about, just because I feel like in high school, forget the education, forget what you're actually learning in school, like science class, math, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's more of the social skills for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're meeting a bunch of new people. How do you interact with them?
Yeah.
How do you make friends? The social pressure of like what you would view as like negative, like being like precautious of like very self-aware of how you look, etc.
Yeah.
I would want to put my kid through that so then they can grow and understand like, hey, this is like the real world, right?
Yeah.
For people who are homeschooled, I don't know.
I don't know how homeschooling works in Canada.
I don't know either.
I don't know like exactly what the requirements are, but I feel like people who are homeschooled their whole life, they just don't have a sense of what societal pressure is like and how it forms other people. I don't think they really know how to really blend in. But again, I don't know the situation.
It's just you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are right. That kind of pressure that is applied in school, it does help with the real world.
Yeah.
Like if somebody makes you feel bad about something, like you did something weird. Like I don't have an example at hand, but like imagine you did something where like you pulled your pants down.
Okay.
Obviously you can't do that in real life. So and if you do that in school, people will let you know. People your own age will let you know that that's weird. You'll feel that pressure and you'll adapt to it and know that outside of your house or wherever you are, you can't do that in public.
It's different.
Yeah. So little things like that definitely compile over the years of going to school, like just how to be like a regular human being.
Yeah.
But there are some things that like just like comparing high school to college, the people, the judgment that you receive compared to those two are just completely different. That feeling of being accepted varies so differently. Because if you look at our situation, friend group that was made, or even everybody in our classes, there was never like this kind of side eye, I personally never felt like there were these groups.
Judgment?
I wouldn't say judgment, but like it wasn't very cliquey.
Okay.
High school is very like you got the cool kids, the nerds, yada yada yada. But in college, it's like it's free game. Everybody is so social, open to interacting. Whether you look different, whether you buy nice clothes or regular basic clothes, whether you have a lot of money or no money, I found that talking to people in college was so much easier. Because, towards the end of my high school career, like I was this more social, charismatic person. And people will, when you're charismatic to somebody, they'll typically return that back. But in high school, it was a lot less common compared to when I was doing that in college. People are still stuck in these very clique mentality, like I'm too cool for this, or who is this guy talking to me when you're in high school, but that completely changes. And that's personally why I like college a lot more. I felt a lot less worried or anxious about meeting new people and talking to new people. Yeah.
Because I feel like at that point, at post-secondary, people are just focusing on themselves. So they don't care about you, but it's more, hey, I'm making a friend. Is this person going to help me or not?
You know what? Yeah. Yeah. I found that I made some pretty good connections in college. You know, not all of them were long lasting,
Yeah.
but I made some connections that went beyond just, can this person help me out on this assignment?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like people who like the same things as me, people who appreciate this song. Like, there's lots of stories that I have with just connecting with people on one certain thing that I thought nobody else knew about. Like one of our friends, I was listening to a song on the bus to school, and then he was just like, "Yo, you know this song?" I'm just like, "Yeah, you know this song?" Instant connection, just like, it was just so different from high school for me.
We dove a little bit into it, but let's talk about the job market.
Yeah, very scary right now.
What do you think about it right now in Ontario?
You know, if I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really been looking through much jobs. I've been at my position for a while, and I haven't felt the need to look for other opportunities. I have seen, well, I have definitely dabbled on the LinkedIn, all the job posting websites.
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot of experience is required for a lot of entry level positions, especially the ones that we went to college for.
Mm-hmm.
That it's very hard to break in if you aren't in their network or with some experience.
Yeah. You're in a manager position, so you hired and fired
Yes.
people, done interviews.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's a little bit harder considering a lot of them are older than me, especially when I first started my position. Obviously, when I first started, I wasn't in charge of that kind of thing, but now being in a more senior role at the company, I am overlooking more of the onboarding and honestly, I haven't had to fire anybody yet.
Mm-hmm. Good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah. We have pretty good employee retention rate. So, but onboarding it's such a different experience being on the other side of like, hey, this guy is pouring himself out to me to make sure that he has a stable income. And I have to look through many different people and choose, well, which one fits the best for my company that I work for. So it's just like, it's like this weird game.
It's like emotions tied in with practicality.
And you have to sever the emotion part of it and just be like, this guy would be a detriment to the company.
Damn, yeah.
He needs money, I know, but sorry. This guy would actually benefit our company, make it grow, make it stronger. So the hiring process is not my favorite thing, but it's definitely essential. But I know, have you had to do any hiring stuff in your past?
Not specifically hiring, but like I've done interviews. I said who I would like or I would deem would be a good hire.
Yeah. And did you ever feel weird about like sifting through people's lives, essentially, their CVs, their resumes?
Their resumes?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I don't really look at their resumes. Well, in a more like, I wasn't in like a very like specific niche company.
Yeah.
Like, that's super high up. But honestly, I didn't really look at their resumes. I would go more based off how they present themselves, how they carry themselves. Because one thing with me is, I don't care how much, well, to an extent.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you know how good you are in something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're open and willing to learn, to explore, just being a student mentality, having open communication, like being able to grow.
Yeah.
Rather than just stay stagnant and like have your ego take over you.
Yeah.
I would rather hire that person rather than someone who's like super qualified.
That is true. Someone who's stuck in their own closed off mind.
Although it'll be definitely a learning curve and there will be struggles and suffering.
Yeah.
A bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of patience. In the long term, if they stay long. If they stay long.
Yeah.
If they stay long, I would choose that person over that.
Yeah, someone who's willing to learn
Yeah.
is definitely more valuable than.
Let's talk about like sports analogy. You have this, you're playing sports. Let's say we're playing basketball. You have someone who's like super good, but his ego's like massive.
Yeah.
In a team of people who just suck or like new players.
Yeah.
Then he's gonna be a ball hog. Then he's gonna try to make every shot. He's gonna be like, "Yo, just pass it to me. Like, listen to me."
Yeah. No inspiration.
No inspiration.
No leadership.
And nobody wants to listen to that guy, and they're just gonna end up not playing or be like a 1v7, 1v6.
Yeah.
So
It's
like,
boring. Nobody would want to be in a team with that person.
exactly, right?
And it's the same thing with those kind of people who are stuck in their ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, that's how I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's a really good point, because it's not that I've ever let go of anybody, but I've seen it happen before, where there's people who like to spread negative ideas, and it impacts people on all levels. And so I guess the best thing to do would just be to remove that person and replace them, or always before removing somebody, we always try to have a conversation with them. Get to the root cause. What is causing you to act this way? And how can you resolve it? And if it can't be resolved, then bye-bye. Yeah.
Full-timers you're hiring.
Yeah. Majority of the time it's full-time.
Full-timers, right? That's the thing too. Like, their source of income is dependent on you.
Yeah. And how much we schedule and how well we manage the shop directly impacts how much they make, how much the company makes.
Yeah. And that's a very scary thing.
Their paycheck relies on us.
Their next meal relies on you. You ever just take that in?
Yeah,
you ever take that in, bro?
My boss loves
their mortgage payment, if they will live in the house, is dependent on if you want to keep them next month.
Yeah. That's a very scary thought. Yeah. But I mean, we have a different system where it's like it's more so like their work directly impacts how much they make. So it is mainly employee led, but it's up to us to have the jobs for them to complete. Yeah. This is veering more into the work side of things.
Yeah, that's a very
keep it on the school.
We're talking about education. Yeah. Going back to schooling and education.
Yeah.
I forgot how we deviated that. What were we talking about? What? Oh, jobs, right? Jobs.
Yeah.
Question: why, in your personal opinion, why do you think so many graduates don't end up going into their field of study? I don't know, like, the specific statistics, and I've read this in a book like a long time ago. So I don't know how accurate it is today, but it was like 1 in 3, or let's say 75%. 75% of people who actually graduate from their field of study don't actually go into it. And then the rest 25, only actually like 50% actually enjoy what they do, or they stay for the long term.
That sounds completely true. That sounds like a complete.
Yeah. Don't quote me on those numbers, but yeah.
They sound pretty legit, though. They sound pretty legit. I mean, you can see it within the people we graduated with. I'm pretty sure that statistic would line up pretty perfectly. That, as I said before, the idea of actual care and drive to pursue, like what one of our friends did when they left the program, I was actually like, that's the best decision you've made.
Oh yeah.
I commended them on making that decision. I never made them feel bad for it, because at the end of the day, they're the ones spending the money to come here, and they know what they want. Some people might view it as a waste for having gone for a year and a half or so and then leaving, but why continue to pursue something that you know you're not going to want to do? I believe that we kept going because
just to finish
just to get it done.
Because we were in our last year, like, might as well.
Yeah. I know we both fell out of interest long before we graduated.
Oh yeah.
And we were just kind of coping, like, like we spent all this money already, bro.
Like, might as well just have it.
Yeah. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but
we're examples of the majority.
We are. We are. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not put that much effort into finding a job in my field.
Oh, I did not either.
The burnout was insane. Especially I think I would have been even more burnt out if it wasn't online. Because you remember how many things we had to do in person.
First year first semester, the first project.
Boom! Like, they did not fuck around.
A whole straight month, every single night in the library at each other's houses until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Just to get something done.
Shit was crazy. That was a crazy first project.
It was a crazy first project, and it was a crazy program in general.
Yeah.
Just the amount of things that they threw at you. And I remember distinctly, like, almost being ready to just leave after our first session with or what's the thing called? Session. What's that thing called when they first bring you on and they like talk to everybody, the whole program?
Before actual school starts?
Yeah.
Let's just say the overviewing.
Sure.
The onboarding.
The onboarding, sure. Whatever that time was when our course coordinator brought everybody inside and was like, you're not going to be this finishing this program. You're actually going to be this. And it's not like they ever said that it wasn't. It's not like they ever deceived us before we got there. But I was just kind of like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing here? But we stuck through it. And I think that it's good that we did finish it. You know, we have something under our belt. Mm-hmm. Despite if it's not.
We can just say we did it.
That's true. Nobody's going to check.
Yeah.
So the initial question was, why do I think that?
Yes.
I think the biggest cause would be burnout and lack of interest. If I had to choose between those two, lack of interest.
Lack of interest into what they actually want to do.
Yes.
Clarity too, I would say. Because you're 18, well, depending on where you are, you're 18 going into a program. I mean,
you don't know shit.
Yeah, depending on, like the older you get, you're like, wow, if I knew this, like how the time you are right now in this moment is, you think you know stuff. You're the top dog. Grade 8, when I was in grade 8, a 14-year-old kid, I think I knew everything. Like, I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
Grade 12, when I was 18, okay, I knew what I wanted. Looking back in retrospect, bro, what?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Literally nothing. And to make you choose what you want to do, quote unquote, for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And the next, when you're 18, when you're still a kid mentally, but legally an adult, is pretty wild.
Being forced to make that decision that early, and that's where the pressure thing comes back in again from parents, because they don't want you to take a gap year.
Yeah.
They don't want you to take these extra years off in between high school. They just want you to go there, get everything done, get a job, and then be fine.
Yeah.
One of my friends from high school, he took that gap year, and he was actually able to, go into a program that he liked, and he's still liking it, and he's still trying to pursue it. He's done now. He's done school, and now he's trying to pursue that one actively. And that's just that difference in between us going to something that we thought we wanted and him taking that time to actually think about what he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say schooling teaches you, because here's the thing about schooling too. It's so strict, so rigid, so old school ways. They're not flexible in how they teach too. So they just throw textbooks at you, look at PowerPoint presentations, read off slides, do homework.
Not engaged at all.
Everybody's learning is different.
Yeah.
That type of style? Hell no. I'm
a
more hands-on experienced person. I have to lose something. Sorry. No. I have to experience something. If I have to lose something to actually learn the lesson. That's just how because I'm very hands-on, right?
Interesting. That's a good one. You have to lose. Okay.
Yeah, something has to be on the line for me.
Yeah.
Or else I wouldn't take it seriously.
Okay.
That's how I play games too. It's ranked or nothing.
That's true. Yeah, no, I mean the majority of our courses in our program were just slides. They were just slides that were being written off of a screen, and then you have a test. Some of them were hands-on, the construction stuff that we had.
Yeah.
That was something that I was actually really happy about. That got turned online.
Yeah.
Is that we didn't have to do that specific thing.
The biggest thing for me was, yo, I don't need to commute no more.
Oh yeah,
In the cold too.
God, starting off college without a car, that was messed up.
It was fun though.
The bus was not fun.
Bus was fun.
The bus. Yeah, you'd always sleep. You'd always be asleep. I don't know how you could do it. I can't fall asleep on the bus like you can. You'd wake up and you know exactly when you have to wake up.
God's like waking me up like, yo, buddy, it's time to go.
Yeah. Yeah, but the way that they teach is still very old.
Yeah.
And especially in our program. I know that there are programs that they are adopting new learning styles,
Teaching
but
styles, yeah.
for us, we didn't get that treatment.
I do commend school. Like, I do like school just for one thing. It's their accountability they have on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the biggest realization I had was when I was in, what was it? I think it was second year. When we were in second year, I had one friend who dropped out of their program and was just working.
Yeah.
Right? And then it came summertime. I'm like, yo, bro, it's been a long time. Like, how you doing? He's like, yeah, you know, like, I already knew he dropped out because he told me. I'm like, yo, like, what's new with you? He's like, nothing, man. I'm like, bro, it's been a year. Like, what's different with you? He's like, nothing. I'm like, so in a whole year, nothing new happened. Like, and he really thought about it. He was like, no, be real, bro. I just worked. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary. Like, and then when we graduated, I had a little bit like anxiety and like felt a little bit like not scared, but like uncertain or what I would be doing, because now we don't have a summer.
Yeah, we lost.
So I know how my friend felt at that time, where it's like, yo, I'm in summer mode, like, let's do something. Like, what do you want to do? He's like, bro, this is just every day for me.
Yeah.
What's summer? Like, there's no season. Like, it just there's no summer. It's just it gets colder and it gets warmer.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a bit scary. So,
That was a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first year of working.
Yeah.
Was that, yo, I don't have summer.
yeah, like, you
And
just go in.
that's something that college doesn't like get you used to at all either.
Uh-huh.
Because you have a summer during college.
And you would have like certain set schedules too.
Yeah.
School forces you to wake up early, wake up, go to school, finish, do homework, rinse and repeat the cycle. Like, you actually got up.
Yeah.
I know some people, well, me too, I guess. After graduating, like, yo, there's no sense to wake up early.
Yeah.
So you just wake up late.
Yeah.
And just do what you want at the time.
Yeah. When in reality, you know, waking up early and doing something, it doesn't have to be school. It doesn't have to be like that 9 to 5 mindset.
Yeah.
But even though waking up earlier would definitely have been a better thing to do, it's just we thought that we only have to wake up early because we have to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something just to do it to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the scariest thing. I
It's,
was like,
yeah. It's not what we wanted to do, but we did it because we had to.
now you don't. It's like, now you don't have a guideline. Once
Yeah.
you're done school, you don't have a guideline. Like, we're in school for what, 18 years of our lives.
More sometimes.
Yeah, we have a set schedule. We have a guideline. Like, hey, this is what our lives gonna look like every single day. We have a summer. This is what we're doing. And then right when you graduate, that schedule is just gone. Like,
Yeah.
what do I do now?
Yeah. So people need that structure to survive.
Yeah,
Because without it, they'll just, like, you know, wander aimlessly.
they'll
like, I don't
wander.
know what to do with
They'll
my
run
day.
loose. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They have so much free time.
Which is really bad. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Veckram, I want to acknowledge you for your time here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Final 2 questions for you. Ask everyone this. If you can go back in time, what would be one piece of advice you would give your younger self?
Wow. I would definitely, and I've thought about this a lot before, I would tell myself that trying is a really good thing and will get you to a lot of places. Doing the most is worth it. Because when I was younger, I would always just kind of do the bare minimum, and that's kind of, it's stacked up and it's carried on through my life. Like, honestly.
The habit?
Yeah, that's a bad habit. So trying is worth it. And I'd make sure that the younger version of myself got that through his head. Because, like, I wouldn't say it's impeded me, but it's definitely limited my opportunities. And all I can really do now is acknowledge that and learn from it and move on. And continue to have bigger dreams and actually have plans and things.
So putting your best foot forward in anything you do.
In everything you do. Try your hardest. Yeah.
I like that one.
Thank you.
Final question. You ready?
Yeah.
What is your definition of success?
I think once you're actually genuinely happy, despite no matter what you're doing, I don't think the amount of money that you make determines if you're successful. I think if you're perfectly happy, obviously you can't be perfect. Nothing is perfect. But if you're more than content with where you are in life and what you plan to do, and if the things that you have planned are going in your favor, then I think you're successful. If your goal is to move to the countryside, have a family and a farm, something like that, you might not be making the most amount of money, but in my eyes, you are successful if that's what you wanted to do. You know? So success doesn't mean money to me. Success means, have you reached your goals? And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any final questions, thoughts, concerns? Shout outs before we end it?
Shout outs.
Up to you.
Shout outs to Vincent for being such a fantastic friend. And just keep trying your hardest.
Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you for having me, sir.
No worries. To those who have tuned in and stayed to the very end, we appreciate you for listening in today, and we appreciate you for your time. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until then, my friends, take care.